Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. We have an amazing show for everybody today.
Indeed, we do. We've got friend of the show, Joe Concha, in to talk about the media's coverage of impeachment. We've also got Kyle Kulinski on to talk about debate wrap-up and all sorts of other things. And new poll is really attracting a lot of attention, signals a potential new trend in the race, so we'll get into that as well. But of course, all week we've been following the goings-on vis-a-vis impeachment saga.
Yeah, I mean, we have this new Emerson polling, which basically shows a shift away from impeachment. Basically, since October, 48 to 43% support, and an independent since October, 49 to 39%. That's a 10-point drop amongst independent voters, probably the stat that matters the most amongst people. And basically, the way I look at this, Krystal, is that at the beginning in October, before the proceedings, people were like, used impeachment as a proxy to say, yeah, I think that was wrong.
Yeah.
And now that it's become real, they're going to say, no. This is not enough to remove a sitting president of the United States and put the country through a 6 to 8 week trial, which will ultimately, we all know how it's going to end.
Well, it's this sense of like, is this really how you want to be spending your time?
Right.
Like,
exactly.
and at the same time, this morning there's reports out because they're wrapping up. They've wrapped up all of the scheduled public hearings, et cetera. Democrats felt like these went very well for them. Certainly Gordon Sondland, not great for the president, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, so I was thinking, okay, well, they'll wrap it up. We'll get to articles of impeachment, Senate trial. Like, let's get this cracking.
Yeah.
This morning, there's a new report that they want to go back to the Mueller report.
Oh, good.
They want to get Don. They're trying to get Don McGahn in to testify because I guess they haven't had enough pain around
It's a greatest hits of media failures and idiocy. And look, the longer they draw this thing out, the more they try to make this happen, the worse it is going to be. And you know, it's funny because I feel like we really are the most preeminent political analysts in town. But Will Hurd yesterday, before the House committee, while he was giving his speech, he said, look, I think it was bad, and I also don't think that this rises to bribery and for the removal of a sitting president of the United States. And I was thinking, that's it. That's going to be the talking point for every single GOP senator 2 months from now, maybe 3 months from now, actually, whenever they vote to acquit President Donald Trump.
Right. Well, and Will Hurd is not some rabid right-winger. He's gone against the president quite a number of times. And, by the way, he's
not running for re-election.
Right.
He doesn't need to do this. He has zero to lose. He also just happens to be a Republican, and he has criticized them all the time. And even he is like, you know what? This doesn't rise to the occasion. So if Will Hurd, a retiring GOP member who has no love lost for Donald Trump, is not going to vote for impeachment, forget about it.
Forget about it. You're not going to win one senator, Republican senator, let alone the 20 that you would need. Yeah, I mean, look, this isn't the only poll that shows a shift against the hearings. And look, we should say this was done before this poll was out, before the Sondland testimony, so maybe that'll change things. But look, you had a poll of Wisconsin showing not only support for impeachment dropping, but also support for Trump increasing, so that now he is actually beating Biden and Bernie and all the other candidates in that state in a head-to-head matchup. You had another poll that showed support of independents dropping. And again, I think it comes down to that thing. Yes, people don't like what the president did. They don't think it was right. They don't think it was okay. But many also don't think that it is worth wrapping the country up in this extensive, draining, divisive process for weeks and weeks on end. Democrats signaling that they want to extend this even further and go back into the Mueller report and all of that. I think it's a really bad idea.
It's a huge mistake. And it really is one of these things where they don't understand that, like, trying to get Don McGahn in front of the cameras, that's not going to work. First of all, Don McGahn doesn't even want to come. He's going to fight this thing.
He's been fighting
in
it in court.
Right. And even if he does, he's just going to say, you know, I'm executive privilege, executive privilege, executive privilege. It's going to be a total dud, just like the Robert Mueller hearing. How many times do they have to fail before they learn their lesson? Why can't you just prosecute your case in the election? That's what all the other candidates are doing.
Well, they can't resist because some of what came out in the Roger Stone trial seems to suggest that the president lied in his responses to Mueller. So it's like they can't resist going back to it, and maybe this time we'll convince them. Maybe
By the way,
this time
Republicans did the same thing during Benghazi, and it was a loser from the very beginning, right? Like 3 years after Benghazi, they were still trying to litigate this. So this is not, this is not a single Democratic issue. And I don't want anybody to think I'm just against this stuff because it's the Democrats doing it.
This go for
how did Benghazi turn out, everybody?
And how did this go for the Republicans in the 90s? With Clinton, where Democrats did the same thing that Will Hurd is saying now. Yeah, it's not right. It's not impeachable.
There you go.
We're going to tell you what's on our radars. That's next.